Have you ever had that moment where something finally clicks? You look back at your life and suddenly you see it. The pattern, the conditioning, the reason you keep reacting the way you do. And instead of feeling free, you feel angry. Not slightly annoyed, friend. I mean, truly, truly angry. And today I want to talk about that anger because it shows up right after awareness and it feels powerful. But most of the time, it's not power, it's protection. But before we move forward to talk about all about anger, I want to read a review from one of my clients that have worked with me and is working with me in my private coaching container. And her name is Nicole. Nicole, a shout out. I love you for writing this beautiful review. And it goes like this. I've worked with many great coaches over the years, and each one has supported me in different seasons of growth. But working with Michelle in her private coaching container has been truly different. It has changed the way I operate and go about my day. For the first time, I feel like I'm finally getting out of my own way. Michelle has helped me connect to my nervous system, process patterns I thought I had already worked through, and create a real sense of safety within myself. Michelle blends neuroscience, spirituality, and business in a way that feels so aligned with my journey. Her approach is personalized, intentional, and deeply supportive. She doesn't just hold space, she holds you accountable, gives you recap videos, custom homework, and tools that actually help you move forward. No other coach has ever followed through it like this. This coaching experience has helped me reclaim my power, take action on a project I've been avoiding for years, and feel more grounded than I have in a long time. I've gone through major life shifts, and through it all, Michelle has helped me see that I am enough without needing to prove or perform. I look forward to every call, even the ones where I know I'll be challenged, because I know the breakthroughs are on the other side. If you feel like you're stuck or repeating the same patterns, I highly recommend her coaching program. It's been life changing, and I'm so grateful for this space. Ta da! I love this. I love to see how my clients grow, how they bloom into the real versions of themselves, that version of you that lives within you, that is your essence. And I truly, truly want to thank Nicole for this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful write up. And it truly makes me the most happy to read it and to share it with you because I know that you're probably thinking, okay, I want to work with her, but I don't know. I haven't read a lot of reviews. Well, I'm leaving this one here for you in case you were thinking of jumping into my coaching container or jumping into purchasing She Who Aligns, which is the blueprint guide that I have on my website. I hope that this will give you a little sense of what it is to work with me. Okay, friend, let's now jump into talking all about anger. If you're tired of feeling stuck, disconnected, or held back by old beliefs, and you're ready to start living in alignment with your deepest values, you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Michelle Marie, spiritual neurocoach, cancer survivor, and twin mompreneur. On Rewired to Align, I share the neuroscience and spiritual practices that help me transform my own life, guiding you to release limiting beliefs, rewire your mind, and step fully into your sovereignty. Are you ready to live in alignment with who you truly are? Let's rewire, align, and manifest. Hi, beautiful soul. Welcome back to the podcast. Welcome back to Rewire to Align. My name is Michelle Marie, and I am your favorite spiritual neuro coach. And every week, we are here to talk about alignment through neuroscience, through spirituality, through human design, through many tools that I love to use in my life because when we are in coherence with our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies, we are in alignment. And Before going any further, I wanted to let you know that this episode is number 65. 65. And it will be under the neuromindset category in the podcast catalog. Yes, I have a catalog that is linked in every show note, and you can use it to find your favorite category or podcast episode. Isn't that amazing, friend? I did it because I love you. I love you, and I know how frustrating can be to scroll to find a specific topic in podcasts. I know because I have done it out there. Another thing that I wanted to mention is that I always add the episode number and the category in the show notes as well. So make sure to look for that if you are reading those notes. Okay, amiga, let's do it. I decided to jump in here today to talk about anger. First, because anger gets so much judgment from everybody. Also, because usually we are taught to dismiss it or that we shouldn't feel angry. And because I see this pattern constantly in my coaching, in my own life, in my friend's life, and probably you see it in your life as well. And we love awareness, we love breakthroughs, we love that, oh my God, that's why I do that moment, right? You love that. But no one really prepares you for what comes right after anger. And if you don't understand what anger actually is, you can mistake it for growth when it's actually just an activation. And this episode is coming straight from coaching sessions. There's no theory or nothing that I read in a book. Nope. It comes from real conversations with my clients who are beautiful women that are self aware and still confused by what's coming up in their bodies. And since I want you to understand anger, and I said that this is coming straight up from coaching sessions, I'm going to use one of my clients as an example. And this client, she just finished working with me, and she's a brilliant, deep, and truly, truly self aware woman. And she had already done the work, you know. She could trace everything back. She knew that her dad was not capable of emotional nurturing and that her people pleasing was a direct result of that. She wasn't confused at all. But then, once she actually saw it, what happened is that she got really, really angry. And I don't mean just surface level annoyed. I mean truly, truly angry that she has spent years waiting for him to finally validate her. Angry that she was still sitting there hoping he will change. Angry that her nervous system was still reacting every time he dismissed her. And that she built parts of her identity around trying to earn love. And at first, that anger felt strong. It was like, I'm not small anymore. But underneath it, when we explore it, right? Because we have to explore the anger because it's a great communicator. We saw that there was the 16-year-old her still waiting for him to change, still hoping that he finally acknowledged her and gave her what she needed, that validation, that love, that nurturing. She was still trapped in the past. Are you there? Are you in this stage that you're super aware and now you're angry and now you're looping? That's the part most people don't see. And that's why working with a coach is great because it can help you see the blind spots. And anger, friend, can feel super empowering, but sometimes it's just your nervous system reacting to all that emotional memory that has been stored there for ages and ages. And I want to show you what this actually looks like in real life. And again, maybe this is where you're at this moment in a particular situation or pattern recognition that you want to break. and you are having all this awareness, but now you are looping in anger. You're sitting there after that big awareness and you see the pattern and you understand it and you understand why you've been overgiving, or maybe you've been shrinking, or maybe waiting for someone to validate you. And instead of letting go or feeling calm, how are you feeling? You're probably on fire. You're probably obsessing over some conversation from 10 years ago, or, obsessing of why your mom did this or your father didn't do that. And you are looping like it was yesterday. You think, well, why didn't they see me? Why did I put up with that shit? Why did I stay so long? You understand where I'm going with this? That surge, that wave, that is not random, friend. Your brain is pulling up emotional memories that are super old. The part of your brain that store those memories, which we're going to talk about the neuroscience, and here it is called the hippocampus, is bringing them forward. And your amygdala, which is basically your internal alarm system, right? The fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, flags them like they're happening at this moment, right now. Because remember, your brain cannot tell the difference between real and imagined. It just goes through the motion. So the amygdala flags them like they're happening right now. And because of that, your body reacts. Even if the situation happened, I don't know, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 months ago. And that's why the anger feels immediate. That's why it feels current. Because neurologically, your system is responding as if it's still protecting you. Let me see if I can put this better. Think of anger like a bodyguard. Is that voice inside that finally says, enough. I'm not letting that happen again. So it's the bodyguard to your inner child, like a protector to the inner child that you exile somewhere because you don't want to deal with it again, right? And honestly, that fire feels good because it's the first time you felt energized instead of crushed. However, here's the reality check. Just because you're fired up doesn't mean you're free. Let that land. I'm taking a pause here because I want you to truly let it land. The reality check is that just because you're fired up doesn't mean you are free. Friend, there's a massive difference between being activated and being aligned, quote unquote. Real power is not about who can shout the loudest. It's about who can stay steady when the room gets shaky. And I said this to my coaching clients all the time. And the way I work, this is how I use the analogy of the house. You have to really, really build the foundation of your house solid so it can sustain it, right? So even if there is a hurricane that goes through it, your foundation, your house is built in an unshakable foundation. So the wind will not, how do you call it? Break it or, yeah, break it down. So real power is not about who can shout the loudest. It's about who can stay steady when the room gets shaky. And you've probably been there, the mirror moment where you've done the work. Maybe it is where you are right now. You understand your childhood because I see this with my friends. They understand the childhood. They understand the traumatic things that happened. Maybe that's you. You understand your childhood. You've labeled the trauma. You even have the big, scary confrontation. And yet, you're still losing sleep over them or not being able to receive the love that you want or the things that you want to create in your life, the stability, the peace, etc., etc. And you know why is that? Because knowing why you're hurt doesn't actually heal the wound, friend. Knowing why you're hurt doesn't actually heal the wound. Awareness is just the map. Regulation is the actual walking. And in my align framework formula, we call this the gap between awareness and liberation. First and second step. Awareness is simply seeing the cage. Liberation is when you no longer need the other person to apologize or to change just so you can feel okay. And as I say to my client, if your peace of mind still depends on him, her, or them getting it, you've accidentally handed them the remote control to your emotions or the power. You just handed your power to another person. And this is not a critique, it's the truth. True power means bringing that remote back home, bringing that power back home. And look, we've all done that. You, me, your friend, everybody has done that with partners, with parents, with people who shaped us. If you want that remote back, right? If you want your power back, you have to get curious instead of louder, because under the anger, there's always something, there's information that need to be respected. You're defending boundaries that some people have crossed, that need to be seen, that need to matter. And the moment you name that, and you understand that and you see it and you discover it, something shifts because you're not fighting them anymore. You know that you're protecting you. And that's when your power comes back. You stop being defined by their behavior and you start becoming the guardian of your own value. And this is exactly the work I do inside my private coaching container. And this is what I did with this particular client. We didn't talk about the pattern. We regulated, we stabilized it, we rewired her subconscious responses that kept her emotionally attached and looping in the past. Because insight alone, friend, does not close loops. Containment does. And if you feel like you've been aware for a long time, but nothing is actually shifting or changing at the nervous system level, at the subconscious level, that's where deeper work matters. And sometimes you cannot DIY it. Sometimes you need accountability partners. Sometimes you just need to jump in for sessions, 3 sessions, 4 sessions, depending on on what we discovered together. And that's why coaching is so important. However, there's also another tool that I like to recommend that can help you, but you need to take your time as well. You cannot just go and do it quickly. And it's the She Who Aligns Guided Blueprint. This is a beautiful workbook that I designed with the Align Framework formula in a structured way so that you're not just processing, you're integrating. There's actually directions in every step, at the end of every step, that says that you have to stop there and you have to integrate. And I am going to leave the link in the show notes for you for both my coaching container and the She Who Aligns Guided Blueprint so that you can check it out and you can decide what works best in this season of your life. Beautiful soul. Today we talked about why anger shows up right after awareness. We talked about how your brain stores emotional memory and how your nervous system reacts even when your adult mind understands what happened. And we clarified the difference between activation and real power. Anger can truly feel like strength. I understand. However, regulation is what actually creates alignment. Okay? I'm going to leave you with that reflection right there. And if this episode hits something for you, I want you to share it with someone who needs to hear it. I want you also to leave a review and to invite you to come and tell me what landed for you. Instagram is where I like to hang out, friend. I love Instagram and you know it. You can find me at Michelle Marie Pacheco. You can send me a message there. And if you want a reflecting community because you want other like-minded women that are in this journey, jump into Rewire to Align. This is the private Facebook community. This is the space that I created for you. And I do live sessions there on Wednesdays at noon. Okay, my love, this week, instead of asking, how do I stop being angry? Ask yourself, if this person never changes or never gives you the closure that you need, can I stay steady? That is what I want you to do. That is the question that I want you to reflect on this week. Use your journal. Use your journal. Journaling is a great way of really putting everything down, reflecting it back, and see. You can find so many little nuggets, golden nuggets that are going to help you. Alignment is not about being calm all the time. It's about living in a way where your nervous system is not negotiating with the past. That's what it means to live aligned. Okay, my friend, I see you next week. I'm sending you so much love. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I love creating it. If what you heard today resonated with you, the best way to support the show is by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts. Your feedback helps me continue creating content that empowers you and deepens your spiritual connection. Just scroll down to write a review and share your thoughts. And if you love what Rewire to Align is about, share it with your friends and family. I truly believe the world transforms when we come together to create positive change. I look forward to be with you again next week.